Hello everyone, I'm Asa Grimsley.
And I'm Deion Ray. Coming up on Louisiana Focus, the uptick in lung cancer cases for people 41 and over has hit close to home. And when something happens to a person's will to live, there are people in Lafayette who come to the rescue.
Students stand to risk losing their shot at a college degree if a Louisiana scholarship program does not stay afloat. Affordability is a key factor for a college education, so when the price goes up, UL students get busy. These stories up next on Louisiana Focus. One supermom in Lafayette decided she was not ready to surrender to cancer. ZZ Thomas reports on how she raised awareness while honoring those closest to her.
This supermom says she is done being a victim to cancer. Tanya Farmer has chosen to stand up and put her cape on to help in the fight against lung cancer by starting a walk called Free to Breathe. Because even though lung cancer has the #1 spot as the most deadliest cancer, taking over 150,000 lives per year, it still does not receive as much funding compared to breast cancer, which takes 40,000 lives a year.
For event number one, lung cancer has a stigma that it's just a smoker's disease, and it's not. 60% of all newly diagnosed lung cancer patients are either non-smokers or quit smoking over a decade ago. So it's not just a smoker's disease. People look at it as, oh, well, I don't want to donate or fund this cause because it's only for smokers, they did it to themselves. That's not the case.
In 2011, Tanya found out that her father was diagnosed with lung cancer. In 2012, he passed away shortly before her first Free to Breathe walk. 3 years after her father's passing, her mother was diagnosed with lung cancer and is now known as a survivor.
It's on event day when I feel my dad like there's no other. There's no question he's with me. There's no question he's proud of me. And I look out and I see everyone out there and all the families that have lost those to lung cancer. And I'm proud that I was able to provide a place for them to come together and remember their loved ones that they lost. There's no greater feeling. That moment and seeing those people out there makes all the stress worth it.
Even though the road to end lung cancer is a long one, Tanya Farmer is still going to run full pace towards her goal. I'm your reporter, ZZ Thomas, for Louisiana Focus.
In Louisiana, suicide is the 11th leading cause of death. It represents about 14% of the mortality rate in the state, which is slightly higher than the national average. Tiara McKay reports on efforts to turn the local tide on suicide.
Hey Siri, I've been thinking about suicide.
And these thoughts about suicide are creating candid conversations in the Acadiana community. Today at the New Iberia Main Library, Talk Saves Lives discussed the warning signs and risk factors of suicide. Laura Wu believes that religion has played a major part in the stigma of mental health and that the first step to change is dialogue.
I know growing up we could not talk about suicide. We were raised Catholic and it was a sin, it's a mortal sin, and you just go to hell, and so we couldn't talk about it. And so if it happened, there wasn't anybody you could really talk to about it. It was brushed under the table a lot, which is not a good thing. Anytime you do that, there's trouble. And so it just festers like an open wound. It never heals. It's just best if we talk about it. Even if it's in a bad way, we talk about it. And so coming to this, I learned how to talk to really pay attention when somebody's talking to me so that I can look for how they may be feeling or clues that they may be giving me.
According to the UL Lafayette Police Department, there have been 5 suicide attempts within the past year, with 1 being successful. Kiara Kular believes that in addition to students not getting support they need, social media also has stripped away the seriousness of the issue.
I think we don't talk about mental health awareness enough, and I feel like we also don't give the students the resources that we have on campus to address their mental health and to help them through the things that they go through. And I also think social media has kind of made suicide a norm and made it as not serious as it needs to be.
You are thinking about suicide. You may want to speak with someone at the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. They're at 1-800-273-8255. Shall I call them for you?
For Louisiana Focus, I'm Tierra McKay.
A college scholarship called TOPS stands for Taylor Opportunity Program for Students in Louisiana. Even though it does not cover all tuition fees, it does help. Marcel Johnson reports on what the future holds for TOPS.
Students that are planning on paying for school may have to find an alternative. Dr. Dwayne Bowie says that the cut in TOPS may affect over 7,000 students, and students' ability to pay for school is a major issue.
My main concern, of course, is that the students being able to afford to attend college, what I think is the most critical thing. TOPS is a huge investment in our citizens.
Students from other cities might find losing TOPS the most difficult.
A student that may be from the New Orleans area, somewhere like that, where they're not only paying tuition and fees, but they're required as well to have to pay some type of housing, room and board expenses. Then they may have to make a decision to go to a college closer to home.
UL Lafayette student Roche Golden explains that losing TOPS may cause her to change schools completely.
I'll probably move schools to make it more cost efficient for my parents.
She also feels as if the proposed cut should not happen.
I feel like it's pretty selfish if TOPS gets cut, because a lot of people use that to pay for their school.
With the cut in TOPS not being official yet, students have to prepare for anything and also find other ways to pay for their education if necessary. For Louisiana Focus, I'm Marcel Johnson.
Bearing the cost of tuition and fees without a college loan can be too much for some students. Merle and George look at how UL students get by with a little help from their friends.
Students on UL Lafayette's campus come from many backgrounds. Some of them chose to attend UL Lafayette for multiple reasons.
My mom made me come. I was a transfer from Southern University.
I saw that it was very inexpensive, it was far from home, and I wanted to get the true college experience. So
I came to UL because of the schools I applied to. It offered me the most scholarship money, as well as it had the lowest tuition and fees, with it being in-state.
Tuition and fee rates have increased from 2 to 10% since 2014, in which some students have strongly disapproved of.
I'm poor, and so every time they go up, I have to continuously try to, get loans, and that's crushing my credit.
Because they seem to be going to really arbitrary things, or even when you dig through the fees, some of them end up just being miscellaneous, so you don't know what they're going to at all.
I think it's honestly ridiculous. I don't understand where the tuition is going towards. I see that we do more renovations around here by the day, but at the same time, where is it actually going?
The problem for many UL students is that they have no knowledge of what they're paying for.
Sometimes we don't even know what the fees are, and we're questioned about, where's our money going?
I would understand if they're using tuition to pay for needed necessities on campus, but they're using it for I find very useless commodities.
For Louisiana Focus, I'm Merlin George.
College football is a sport full of excitement and energy, but the long-term consequences of head injury have caught some players off guard. Dion Ray reports.
Hits like these have caused concussions that have been plaguing athletes for years now. A concussion is a TBI, which stands for traumatic brain injury.
Somehow you have had force to your head or to some extremity on your body that's either caused whiplash, or you'd have impact on your head, and your brain has either hit the side of your head or the front or the back, and it's caused you to have all those symptoms.
It's been 3 weeks since I had my concussion. I really don't know when I'm gonna get back on the field, to be honest with you.
All right, so 0 to 6, how's your vision?
0. For Louisiana Focus, our producer is Austin Marilos.
Our director is Jasmine Tillery, and our faculty advisor is Dr. Bill Davey. I'm Asa Grimsley.
And I'm Dion Ray. We'll see you next week on Louisiana Focus.